86% of homeowners in the US have mortgage rates below 6%. With current interest rates falling, experts predict that these homeowners might be willing to finally list their home for sale, which could potentially increase inventory. And this is also going to be good news for buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines because of their interest rates being over 7%. They just weren't willing to buy. Realtor.com just put out an article talking about this very thing, and they're sharing what the experts are predicting what will happen to the market when these interest rates fall. So let's get into it right now. As we know, interest rates have been on the decline for the past few weeks. Now they're down to about 6.5%. So buyers are getting excited again, thinking, okay, now I'm going to be able to afford a home. And home sellers are a little bit more motivated to list their homes. These are just a couple of predictions that Realtor.com is sharing. I want to go into all of them. And of course, let me share my opinion because, I got to give you my opinion. I'm going to share exactly what I'm experiencing right now in this current market. So jumping into this article, rates for a 30-year fixed mortgage plunged to 6.47%, the lowest in over a year for the week ending August 8th, according to Freddie Mac. And with inflation losing steam and the economy cooling, expectations are high that the Federal Reserve could make not just one, but two rate cuts by the end of this year. As you know, later this month, they are expected to do a rate cut. So let's see if that actually happens and how much that's going to impact the mortgage rates. As a result, Realtor.com senior economist Ralph McLaughlin expects mortgage rates to drop further in September and December, which is encouraging news for potential home buyers who have been waiting to participate in the market. This is also encouraging news for homeowners who might be thinking of selling. Is it time to finally list their property on the market? And if they do, what should they expect? So their first prediction is the lock-in effect will ease and homeowners will start selling. A recent Realtor.com analysis found that 86% of homeowners have mortgage rates below 6%. Understandably, many feel locked in, unwilling to trade in their low rate for today's higher ones if they sell and buy again. Home sellers have been sitting on the sidelines, not wanting to give up their COVID-era interest rates. But once rates drop further, that could change. The faster rates drop, the less homeowners will be held in place, and we could see both new inventory and more sales. This is according to Danielle Hale, who's the chief economist at Realtor.com. There are a significant number of sellers who couldn't stomach, right or wrong, going from a 4% rate to a 7.5% rate. But they can stomach going from a 4% to something in the 5 to 6% range. The next prediction they have is more home buyers will enter the market. Well, of course, we're kind of expecting that. In the same vein that sellers have felt frozen in place, buyers have felt iced out of the market. But if mortgage rates continue to decline, then experts predict more buyers who've been on the sidelines finally jump into the market. When rates drop, I think you will see pent-up demand hit the market again. Some buyers, like sellers, shelved their house hunt because they felt payment was too high, but a lower rate makes home shopping more affordable. For some that didn't qualify at 7.5%, they will qualify at 6%. So you have more people able to buy as well. In other words, once rates fall, the market will see both more sellers willing to sell and buyers willing and able to buy. The next prediction is they say that sales will come on fast and strong. Any seller thinking of listing would be wise to start prepping now. Mortgage rates have been improving and they are bringing potential buyers out early, many of whom gave up on buying, either because of low housing inventory or the higher rate environment in the past few years. For sellers, listing their house early may give them the opportunity to sell before their competition hits the market. Other experts agree. There are definitely signs home buying activity is beginning to bounce off the mat. Mortgage applications have perked up and refinancing activity also looks to be picking up as rates go lower and owners carrying elevated mortgage rates seek to reduce their monthly payments. All told, mortgage applications remain low, but the recent upturn is a promising sign that buying activity is starting to heat up and defrost a housing market frozen by higher interest rates. When mortgage rates stay in the sub 6.5% average, we will really see the housing inventory increase and sales activity boom. Now, their other prediction is home prices will likely remain high. The good news for sellers is that as the market gets moving, home prices are expected to remain high or dip only slightly. Sellers will continue to be in a historically strong position as the U.S. housing market is still short millions of homes. Assuming there isn't a severe recession, we would likely see only modest price decreases in most markets in 2024. However, formerly hot markets like Denver, Austin, Texas, and Phoenix may see a more significant drop in housing prices as smaller investor money sits on the sidelines for most of 2024. But in general, experts don't see home prices taking a major dive as interest rates start to descend. Even so, it will be smart for sellers not to get too cocky with their home pricing. Another prediction they have is multiple offers may make a comeback. Oh my God, here we go again. The increase in competition among buyers might mean that sellers once again find themselves in the enviable position of being able to choose from several offers for their homes. Sellers will be in luck when mortgage rates start to drop. They'll have multiple offers to consider and have some extra leverage when negotiating. For example, sellers receiving multiple offers can drive up the price of their home or waive contingencies for an easier close and a more convenient timeline. Still, sellers need to remember that the highest offer isn't always the best offer. Let's break this whole thing down. So, I get it. I see where they're going with this. And I've said this over the past few years. If you've been following me, I've been saying that once we get into that 5 to 6% range, I think it will incentivize homeowners to want to list their homes. Okay. On the flip side, with the home buyers, yeah, this will bring out more home buyers to buy. So I understand what they're saying. Home prices will remain elevated. I do agree with that. I don't think you're going to see home prices appreciate to the extent like we've seen over the past few years. And I don't think people are going to be more apt to just go into a bidding war and throw any amount of money just to get the house. I mean, I could be wrong, but here's what I've been experiencing just recently over the past few weeks in New Jersey housing market. Now, I've been talking about New Jersey. It's been insane. It is still a very hot market here, but it is starting to cool off. And as you know, I am connected to a lot of real estate agents around this country. If you need a recommendation for a realtor, whether you're selling or buying, feel free to reach out to me. You can click the link below, fill out the form, and I will get back to you within 24 hours, and I'll try to get you connected to an agent in your market. Now, I'm working with a few buyers right now, and when I look at the market daily, I am seeing homes sit a little bit longer, and inventory is definitely rising. Now, a home I just listed recently, as much as there was a lot of interest in it, there wasn't a tremendous amount of people throwing offers at it like we've seen over the past few years. What it's telling me is that I think people are just fed up with the thought of overpaying for a house. I really believe that. And even with the buyers I'm working with right now, they're holding back. Look, it's great that the interest rates are coming down, but the prices are still too high. I mean, think about this. Prices have gone up so much, and yet wages have not gone up that much in the past few years. So it's very challenging for people to be able to afford these high prices. And I agree with them. I don't think the prices are going to come down. They may dip a little bit. We might be in for a little bit of a correction unless we have a severe recession. So my thought is, yeah, the interest rates are going to come back down. I think we are going to have more people jumping into the market, but something's telling me I don't think we're going to see it go as crazy as it did the past few years, because I think people have just had it. They just don't want to throw any amount of money to buy a house. And now let's tack on the new NAR rule that took place, where buyers now have to pay for their real estate agent if the seller's not going to be paying for that agent's compensation. You have to throw that into the mix now. So if a seller's not going to be offering to pay for the agent, now the buyer has to come out of pocket to pay for the real estate agent. Therefore, I think they're going to be offering lower prices now because they can't afford to pay way over asking price. And then the possibility that they may have to pay for their agent if that seller's not paying for that agent's compensation. So I think that is going to keep things kind of at bay right now. I don't think we're going to be seeing prices they'll still be high, but I don't think we're going to be seeing them go way over asking like we have been over the past few years. And to me, that is great news. I think things need to calm down. It's getting way out of control, and the buyers just can't do it anymore. They can't afford this. Now, getting back to the whole premise of this, that the lower interest rates is going to drive up inventory. Yeah, I do see that happening, but is it going to be enough to meet the demand? I don't think so. I don't think it will. We are still short millions. I think we're up towards the 7 million homes we're short in this country right now. I don't think that drop in interest rates will be enough to meet that demand. Remember, I've talked about this before. This shortage of homes goes all the way back to 2008, to the great financial crisis. This is when all this started. Maybe with these interest rates lowering, motivating more people to sell their homes, and if we get more homes built, even more affordable homes built in this country, maybe things will start to normalize and more homes will become available to meet the buyer demand. But I think that's going to be years. That's going to take years for that to happen. Because let's face it, it's going to take a while for these builders to get building again because they have to deal with all the regulations, all the things to get these projects done. As much as I appreciate Realtor.com's prediction here about the inventory, I just don't know if it's going to be enough. But look, you never know. My recommendation is to always speak with a local real estate agent to find out what the real pulse of the market is in that area. If you're thinking of selling, don't get cocky about your price. If a real estate agent is recommending a price to you based on what the current market is, I highly recommend you go along with their recommendation, because if you overprice it, you're going to see your house sit a lot longer on the market now that things are starting to change. And I understand, interest rates are coming down, but I would still price that house competitively against what other homes have sold in the market, like say in the last 3 months. Do not list your home for the same price your neighbor down the street sold their house for 2 years ago. We are in a much different market than we were then, and you got to get real about your price. And for you buyers out there, I don't want you to be discouraged by this. Yes, this is a good thing that interest rates are down. Will there be bidding wars? Yes, they will be. But listen, don't feel pressure. Don't have the FOMO like we had in the past few years. Take your time with this and make sure you have all of your money saved, your closing cost, your down payment, and that emergency fund. Can't forget about that emergency fund, because I don't want you guys being house poor when you get into your home. If you want to know what else has been going on in this housing market this year, I have a whole playlist right here. I think you need to check that out, and you get a lot of great information out of that. Thank you so much for watching me today to get your dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.